College Culinary Arts Program's cooking show. Today we're going to teach you how to make chicken cordon bleu. And because we're at Oxnard College Culinary Program, I'm going to make it a little educational for you. So not only are you going to learn how to make chicken cordon bleu, but you're also going to get a little education behind it. So today we're going to start with our chicken. Today we're using a chicken thigh meat. And the reason I chose thigh meat as opposed to breast meat is when I cook this up, I'm going to pound it down really thin. And once I pound it down, I want to make sure that it stays nice and juicy. And the thigh meat is the dark meat, so you're going to have a really juicy piece of meat. And also it's very forgiving. So if you end up overcooking it, you'll still be nice and moist on the inside. So what I have here is I just have a piece of chicken thigh meat. This is the part that was attached to the bone. This is the outside, and you can see it still has a little bit of fat on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my chef's knife and I'm going to take off that fat. It's a really simple technique. All you got to do is just cut down into the fat and go ahead and take it off. You can do this with a bony knife, a paring knife, whatever is the most comfortable for you. And you just want to go ahead and take it off. If you don't mind there being a little fat on, go ahead and leave it on. The second step that we're going to go ahead and do is we need to pound this out. We need to make it a flat piece of chicken. And as it looks pretty fat right now, we need to make it quite a bit thinner. So what we're going to do is we want to take 2 pieces of plastic wrap, put it on our cutting board, take our chicken, put a piece right on top, and we're going to go ahead and take our mallet. And what we want to do is on our mallet we have a tenderizer side and we have a flat side. We want to take that flat side and we want to start in the middle of the chicken and kind of push towards the outside. If you're having a really rough day, this is a great technique for you to use to go ahead and get some anger out. Again, I'm starting in the middle and I'm just rotating all around. You really feel free to pound it out nice and hard. And we have our flat piece of chicken. As you guys can see, it probably got about 1/3 of the size bigger, but it got quite a bit thinner at the same time. That's what we're looking at, right? We also now have all of our other ingredients that we want to go ahead and get mise en place. What does mise en place mean? Well, mise en place means everything in its place. The reason we want everything in its place is as we go to put all of our ingredients inside of our chicken and we bread it, we want to make sure that we have everything together. Because there's nothing worse than being in the middle of having dirty chicken hands and having to go back and forth into your refrigerator to get all your ingredients out. So again, we're going to get everything mise en place. We're going to do the standard breading procedure for our chicken cordon bleu. We're going to fill it and then we're going to put breadcrumbs over it. And in order to do that, we need to have seasoned flour. You can use any all-purpose flour that you'd like to. And all we do is to season it, take a little bit of salt, take a little bit of pepper. I prefer white pepper because it doesn't show. And put it into your breadcrumbs. Into your flour. And then just give it a little bit of stir. Now note that white pepper has a little bit more potency than black pepper does, so be a little bit less generous in it. And we always do a 2-part salt to a 1-part pepper ratio. The next part of our standard breading procedure is our eggs. We're going to go ahead and crack up our eggs and then we're going to beat them. Since I don't have the luxury of washing my hands, you'll see me put gloves on. But when you see me take gloves on and off, that's when you guys should be washing your hands. I'm going to crack the eggs, and to show off that you're very professional in your culinary arts, I'm going to show you how to crack an egg very simply like a professional. You want to take it in your hands and you're going to end up using these 3 fingers. You're going to crack it nice and hard right down the middle, and then you're going to see that I'm going to pull up with these 2 fingers and down with this one. So it should just open, waka, 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 and crack right inside. Again, I'm going to crack it hard. I'm going to take these 2 fingers, and again, I'm pulling away from each other. And we'll do one more for good luck. Again, you should be washing your hand after this. And you can take a whisk, you can take a fork, whatever does it for you in order to beat up your eggs, but you want to beat them up just as if you were making scrambled eggs. Very simple. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to have seasoned breadcrumbs. You can buy already pre-made seasoned breadcrumbs. They typically just have Italian seasoning inside of them. You can dry out your own bread and grind it on your own, like we do here at our college, or you can just buy regular standard breadcrumbs and add your own seasonings. For my breadcrumbs, I like to go ahead and put salt, a couple pinches of salt. Again, it's 2-to-1 ratio, salt to pepper, so I'm going to put in a nice pinch, that was a little pinch, a nice pinch of pepper. I love to take Italian seasoning and put it in here, but whenever I work with dry herbs, what I love to do is take a little bit in my hand. Go ahead and do this with me. You're gonna smell it and be like, oh yeah, that smells pretty good. But take and crush it up and now smell it. You'll see that it about doubles and triples in that smell, and it makes it so that the oils are now coming out of your dried herbs, so they're gonna have a little bit more flavor to it. You'll find that if you do this, you can go ahead and add a little bit less than you typically would, and you make your herbs last a little bit longer. And then I love to put a little bit of Parmesan cheese inside of it. The Parmesan cheese is great because it gives it a nice crust on the outside. You can just use your fingers to mix all of this up. So again, for standard breading procedure, we have seasoned flour, we have our egg wash, and we have our breadcrumbs. Well, now we get to fill our roulade. So whenever you take a piece of meat and pound it out and put items inside of it and roll it, it's called a roulade. So we're making a chicken cordon bleu roulade. So we'll take our flattened chicken. We have Swiss cheese and sliced ham. You could use a flat slice of Swiss cheese, you can use grated Swiss cheese, or you can go ahead and use a block of Swiss cheese, whatever you would like to do. And you can use any type of ham that you'd like to go ahead and use. And what I like to do is make sure that when I put my ham on the inside of it, that when I roll it, I'm gonna be able to see that layer of ham. I'm gonna take my Swiss cheese and I'm gonna put that inside as well. And now all I go ahead and do is I roll it just like I would if I was having a burrito. Okay? Now typically what you'd want to do is you'd want to put this in your refrigerator for about 15-20 minutes. It makes it nice and solid, so when I'm dredging it in my flour and putting my eggs and my seasoned breadcrumbs, it holds together a little bit better. But today we're just going to go ahead and do it immediately. Make sure that you have a pan that you want to use to go ahead and put all of your items in. You could do one of these at a time, or you could do all of them at a time. What I want to do is I want to keep one hand dry and I want to keep one hand wet. So I'm going to take and I'm going to start with my flour, and I'm going to put everything into the flour, and I'm going to do what's called dredging. And dredging means I'm just going to go ahead and lightly coat in flour. So I want to brush off all that extra flour. And now here's where it comes. You can see it falling apart because it's not cold. The egg wash. I'm going to not use this hand. This is my wet hand. I'm going to use my dry hand. And I'm going to stick this all inside right here. I'm going to put it into my seasoned breadcrumbs. My wet hand is going to go away, and I'm only going to use my dry hand. And I'm going to go ahead and put all sorts of breadcrumbs all over this. It's going to give it a nice crisp on the outside. Okay? Let me show you what happens if I take my wet hand and my dry hand and put them together. So if I dip in here and I go in here to put everything in, I end up with breadcrumbs all over my fingers. And if I have breadcrumbs all over my fingers, I'm not going to be able to move them around, and it ends up with one big sticky mess. So excuse me for 1 minute while I go wash my hands. All right, well now that my hands are washed, I'm going to take my chicken cordon bleu and I'm going to set it in an oven for about 350 degrees, and it takes anywhere between 25 and 35 minutes, just depending on how your oven cooks. While this bad boy is cooking, we're going to go ahead and make a lovely, very simple sauce on ingredients that most people have in their house. So what I did was I took heavy cream. You're welcome to take milk if you have it. You just need to thicken it up with a cornstarch slurry or a roux and make it a little bit thicker. So we took a cup of heavy cream, we put it inside of our pot, and I've just had it on a slow simmer while I've been talking about the chicken cordon bleu to heat it up a little bit. What I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and turn it into a basic little cheese sauce into a honey mustard sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of Parmesan cheese and put it inside. And I'm also going to take a little bit of our Swiss cheese. Now both these ingredients I know you have on hand because we just used it. I like the Swiss cheese because it has a nice little tang to it. And all I'm doing right here is I'm stirring everything up until my cheese incorporates. Now just a side note, if you have your cream or your milk too hot, so above about 150 degrees, and you put your cheese inside, your cheese is gonna break and you're gonna have a curdled looking sauce. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for a second while I go get the honey. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that my sauce is what we call nappe, it coats the back of a spoon. You can see if I take my finger, go right down the middle. That's what we're looking for consistency-wise. We're gonna add all of our special flavors to it. So we've added cream and a couple types of cheeses, the Swiss cheese and the Parmesan cheese, just like we had inside of our chicken cordon bleu. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a pinch of salt. Again, 2-to-1 ratio, so we do a pinch of salt. We're gonna do a half pinch of white pepper. We're gonna take a dash of hot sauce. We're gonna take a dash of Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna take some honey, because it's a honey mustard sauce. We're gonna take about a little less than a teaspoon. And we're gonna take a little bit of honey, and we're gonna take about 1/3 of a teaspoon as well. And now we'll just mix all these ingredients together. Let them simmer for a second and we'll get a lovely sauce to go on the bottom of our chicken cordon bleu. Okay. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. So what we want to do now is we're going to practice plating. What I've done here is I have a medley of carrots, cauliflower, and broccoli. And all I've done is just went ahead and steamed them. We call this a winter blend mix. And we want to go ahead and now take our sauce and we're gonna place it on the bottom right here where we're gonna put our chicken cordon bleu. We don't wanna put it on top of our chicken cordon bleu because we wanna see how lovely the chicken cordon bleu is gonna be. So I'm gonna take my sauce. I don't know if you guys can go ahead and see how that's coating everything, how nice and thick it is. That's what we're looking for. I'm gonna take a spoon. I'm gonna just put it right at the bottom and brush it all the way around. And now we get to see our finished product on our chicken cordon bleu. Look at this lovely sucker right out of the oven. Came right out nice and clean. I'm gonna put on a glove for service reasons. Use a tongue, it's gonna be extremely hot, as is the pan. Put it out of the way. And we're gonna take and we're gonna cut our cordon bleu. I could absolutely take and put it right on my plate right here, but if I put it on the plate, you don't get to see all the yummy goodness on the inside. So instead, I'm gonna take and I'm gonna cut it into pieces, and I'm gonna go ahead and plate it up. I'm gonna start with my end pieces first. And I'm gonna put them backwards. And then I'm gonna take these yummy rolled center pieces and I'm gonna put them right there. Now, what we have here is we can't really see our sauce. So I'm gonna take a little bit of sauce and I'm gonna put it right next to the plate on the outside of each of my cordon bleu areas. And we're gonna finish with a garnish. Well, I hope you guys all learned something today. We made chicken cordon bleu with a honey mustard cream sauce. If you like what you see here today, we're going to do very much more of these instructional culinary classes online, and we'd love to have you come and see our program. So if you're interested, especially upcoming high school students, we'd love to have you see our program. So come and contact me at eburnett@vcccd.edu. I'd love to set up an appointment with you for you to come see our school. Thanks and have a good day, guys.